Oh, you're right. But that's why I'm not in production.
Yeah, well, yes. All right. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey, and Bethany, say hi to everybody. Hello, everybody.
What's National Lampoon?
Christmas vacation.
Yeah, I nailed it. So what's going on? As you can see, we have Thew Malone in here today.
We do. This chair ride's a little lower.
And even though Bill has a good excuse to be gone,
I know why he's gone.
I am going to make fun of him.
Like you guys make fun of me when I'm not here? Fair is fair.
No, we try not to make fun of people when they're not in studio.
You get good shots in on me when I'm gone.
Well, it's not unwarranted.
If Bill or I ever learned how to use that board and you took a day off.
Oh, my God. Please. Can one of you please learn to run the board so I can have a day off? That would be awesome.
Then we'd be making that big money that you make on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, big money. What's up, Ryan 840? He's in the show. Yeah.
Where
Bill.
are the other 839 Ryans?
Yeah, I don't know. They must have the day off. Do you think there's only how many Ryans do you think there are in the world?
Well, I don't know if you went into Lincoln, like just check, like if you type in Lincoln in Facebook
You could
for
see.
Ryan, I'm sure you're going to come up with at least 200 to 300 profiles.
Well, how many do you and I know? I know at least.
I know. I have friends with a few Ryan. It's an older name. You don't see a lot of babies today being named like Ryan or Dave.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I think Matthew is kind of dying out.
It is. A lot of biblical names are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just you don't like Ruth.
Ruth? Yeah. Well, that's an
You don't
old
see a lot
name.
of Ezekiels anymore either.
Ernesto's in. What's up, Greg? As you can see, Thew is in today. What up, Shane? There's only one Rhino Mite. Yes. That is true.
That's Jimmy Walker. Good times.
Jimmy Walker.
Yeah, the owner of McDowell's who was
thought-
in that show. He passed away last week too.
I thought you were talking about another guy. Never mind. I've never seen that show that you're talking about.
Coming to America?
No, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, what?
No.
Oh, sit down. Just put some pizza rolls in the oven. He should be here any moment.
Nora's in. Hi, Nora. Ryan said he's checking in from Broken Bow.
That's Custer County. 4 on your license plate.
Number 4?
Yep, 4 on license plate.
That's where our old head coach is from.
Where who's from?
Isn't that where Frost is from, or is he from?
No, he was from Wood River.
Wood River.
That's just west of the Grand Island exit, kind of
Oh, okay.
that area, like down that vicinity.
Ernesto said Thew looks great. I need that potion you detailed a while back.
It's called semi-glutide. It's more of an injection than a potion.
Well, Dane Todd will be here at some point. He will be here. We know that.
You'll know because one of us will go flying out of the chair to go let him in the door
Yes.
while the other one occupies time on the air.
Let's go on the show.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Thank God it's Friday.
What's going on? Happy Friday. Welcome into the Morning Hookup. I'm Will Wilson.
Yes,
Bill
you
Hooks is gone today, which is why we have Matthew Malone in the show today.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to everybody out there. Happy Friday. It's been a long week, and we made it. Bye weeks are awesome.
You know, given the fact, and we'll get to it a little bit more, of what transpired last night in sports, I'm not really in a bad mood. I'm not upset.
I'm not either.
I'm proud of those guys.
Thew and I are Royals fans. We always talk Royals when we're in here together. And, of course, they lost last night to the Yankees.
To what I like to refer to as the evil empire.
Yes. As that's a Star Wars
reference, which
yes.
I'm glad you caught that.
I know that much.
Because considering, before we went on air, Will had mentioned that he's never seen any of the 9 Star Wars movies. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and you haven't seen like Solo or Rogue One, any Star Wars movies. And I laid down a $5 bill and said that is probably the strangest thing I'm going to hear all day.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun little tidbit about me. And now I'm never gonna watch it because
Just to keep up that whole
just to keep the stick up.
right.
Yeah. Could you do me a favor? Dane is here.
Oh, is it
wanna
time
go-
for me to run to the door?
Would you go grab him?
I will.
That'd
Okay.
be awesome. All right, Dane Todd is here. Theo is gonna go grab him. Welcome into the show. Bill Hooks is gone today. He's got something going on. Not exactly sure what it is, but we'll let him have a Friday off. And Dane Todd will be here in a minute. If you're wondering what our European vacation keyword is for this hour, it is follow. Follow is the word. Put it into kfornow.com to possibly win a trip to Europe, which would be pretty awesome. Here's how the show looks today. We're going to talk Royals here in the first segment. We're going to welcome Dane back. We haven't seen him in like 2 weeks, so we'll get him back in here, see how the bye week's going. Jeff Moats will join the show next segment, as some weird stuff happened last night with Lincoln High and Millard South. That game was ended at halftime for a specific reason, as the doctor, Dane Todd, is here. And he looks different today. He just looks...
Same haircut.
I thought he looked skinnier.
I've been losing weight.
You look good.
Are you doing it?
Protein and caffeine, that's it.
Is that really it?
Yeah, basically I just kind of cut way back.
Oh, I didn't know.
I went on a no booze diet.
Oh,
and
wow.
Here we go.
I didn't know if you started
Supplementing?
any other regimens.
Nope.
It's
'Cause
working.
I'm down 24.
Wow.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I think I'm up 24, so I got to
You had 24 you could gain, though.
I don't know about that.
No,
Dane's-
not the way you gained it.
What is a 25-year-old ideal weight? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. Depends on how tall you are, how athletic you actually are,
Okay.
body shape and structure. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Okay.
Now,
All right. I'll need to figure that out because I think I'm
25 pounds of muscle is different than 25 pounds of Cheetos.
Way different.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know.
Or bush lattes.
Well, I don't like Bush Lights, so we got that
That's
far.
fair.
Well, welcome to the show. It's been a while since we've seen you. How have things been?
Been good. Been good. Working. Haven't fired me yet.
Okay, good.
Got that going.
That means you're doing something right.
I know, but it also means I still go to work.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, a little
Working
rough.
sucks.
I can think of worse things to do sometimes. Right?
Yeah, I can too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I did want to just take a quick second while we have Dana here on a Friday. And I didn't know this till they had said something at the stadium that recently we just lost Dr. Pat Clare.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to just have you talk a little bit about not only impact as in the professional manner, but obviously he was there while you were at the university, and just what Dr. Pat Clare meant to the community and also the university.
Yeah, so Dr. Clare was around for, I think he took care of the university athletes for almost 40 years, right? Just he was always around and always available, and he was one of the original founders of the group that I'm a part of now, and took great care of a lot of people over a lot of years. And his son currently works in our group, and he has another son who's an orthopedic surgeon and another son who's a regent. And, the Clares are well known and about, right? And so, unfortunately, he passed away recently, and did a lot of great work for a lot of people for decades. And so it's sad to see him go, but unfortunately, life is short. So we'll all get that opportunity. Father Time beats all of us.
Right,
So, but
right.
yeah, services are today and tomorrow for him. But they had a nice little tribute to him at the football game last week, which was appropriate. And yeah, he's going to be missed by a whole lot of people. So.
Speaking of the game last week, I sat in a suite for the game.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that on Monday. Was it one of the suite? What side was the suite?
It was on the west side.
On the west side, so the old suites.
Yeah.
So the original suites. So, and you were talking about how much you loved it. I'll be honest with you. I've sat up there one time, hated every second.
Why
of
did
it.
you hate it?
It was like this sterile environment.
Sterile.
Like I liked having don't get me wrong. I liked having room and space and not,
Air
being
conditioning.
1,000,000 degrees, right? But
Yeah.
it was like,
Did it
was-
feel more like a who's who social gathering being up in there rather than hey, get pumped up,
Yeah.
riled up type
Yeah,
thing?
it was much more of a just like, let's go and just casually watch a football game rather than like actually cheer for because it's not like
They can't hear us.
yeah, I mean you're
Yeah.
inside, right?
Right.
Like what, I can if I may be wrong because I've never been up there, but the east side ones, the newer ones over there, they're kind of a half indoor, half outdoor kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I was down at Emory in Atlanta, I had one of my best friends to this day. His folks had box seats at the Georgia games,
Okay.
and that's how theirs were, where it was kind of indoor, but it was also outside.
I like that.
And so you were actually like a part of the stadium
Right.
with a reprieve.
Yeah,
right?
those it seems like those boxes that are on the ends, they're open.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones, obviously they're glass and stuff. As you guys look in the scoreboard says louder, that doesn't really pertain to you guys.
Doesn't
That doesn't.
apply,
They don't want you
no,
getting loud in there, I
no.
suppose.
By the way, are you happy they moved sidelines on a day like last Saturday? 'Cause
Oh yeah, me and the son are not friends.
Yeah.
We are not friends.
Well, you look good. I don't think you got sunburned. or
Yeah, I know.
anything,
That's
so.
because you should see the amount of sunscreen I put on before that game started. And then by halftime, I was in the shade. It
Yeah.
was golden, so
It's
it was
perfect.
nice. I will say the new sideline is way narrow, though.
Really.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty tight. Pretty tight.
How is it not the same on the other side?
Oh, the other sideline was way bigger.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, way wider on the other sideline. And, in fact, they actually had to extend this, the west sideline in order to get enough room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and even then it's still tight.
I didn't know that.
Did
yeah.
you get to catch up with old teammate 93 since he was back in
Oh,
town?
I ran into Ndamukong when he was when I was walking out to the field. He was coming down through the stadium. He said hello. And Ndamukong and we only were there together for a couple of years. He was really young,
Yeah.
and so we never knew each other well. But every time I see Ndamukong, he's always very friendly. We say hi and chat and move on with life.
What did you think of that game, though?
Yeah. The way I like to put it is we were 5-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won,
Mhm.
which we needed to do. If you win every game, they call you the national champion, right? Most years, I should say, right?
Unless you're
Okay.
UCF.
Yeah, unless you're UCF, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But like, the defense played great,
Mhm.
right? The defense, it was very good football. It was a extraordinarily ugly offensive and special teams day. Like I understand
Oh.
that Brian did a great job, right? Gay, way to go. Like I read the paper on Sundays, right? Because I get it, right? And people are giving grades out, right? And I saw people giving the special teams a B, right?
What?
Oh yeah, yeah.
well,
that's
simply
a-
because of
Yeah, that's a
Boom
straight
Sheeny.
F. You get 2 blocked punts, and there is no scenario or situation where that is even remotely
Do we have 2
acceptable.
blocked?
Yeah, they blocked 2
They
punts in
blocked
that
2.
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know the
Right?
game before they seemed like we had 2 field goals or extra field goals blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
did.
mean, so and it's like, so that part was not great. Except Brian was awesome, right? So good work, dude. And offense struggled, right? Which is okay. There's going to be games where offense struggles, okay? And your defense is good enough to keep you in and win some football games. So, not the most exciting football I ever watched. I think everybody can agree with that, right? But the end result is all that matters, and that is we won.
Well, I'm glad you say that because, Dane, I want to talk. We remember back to our heyday in the 90s where we won every game and allowed the media and the fans to nitpick a lot of those games. Well, hey, I think they need to work on this, this, and this. And we've gone through such doldrums the last 20 years of being mediocre or below mediocre that a lot of us are, hey, just win. And so now that we find ourselves 5-1, maybe could have been 6-0, that a lot of the people are reverting back to nitpicking these wins. I don't think we've got to the point where we have the right to nitpick these wins yet. Am I right?
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's got to, generate a click or sell a paper, and so they're going to nitpick literally anything that happens forever, right? Like they're going to find something.
The amount of people that I heard did not like Raiola's performance.
Yeah,
But
but
I heard it so often.
he's a true freshman.
I thought he made some really good throws.
Yeah, he made some good throws. Were there some throws that probably could have been better? Of course.
Yeah.
If you put me at quarterback, guess what? Every one of those throws is going to have to be better, right? Okay, like that's just how it goes.
And
okay?
not to mention that Rutgers. I mean, they switched some things up on defense that
Rutgers
would
has
make
a
it
real-
difficult for any NFL quarterback.
Oh yeah, Rutgers has a real football team.
Mhm.
Like people think about Rutgers and they think of the doormat that they were 15 years ago.
Really
right?
bad, yeah.
Dude, Rutgers has a real football team.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
And
running
so-
back is legit.
Yeah, and so it's a good win, and think of it this way: Alabama right now wishes they were just talking about how all that matters is what they did is won the football game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They don't care if it looked ugly and Vanderbilt played the best game Vanderbilt's ever played. If Alabama walks out of that thing with one more point than Vandy, totally different narrative right now.
You're right.
And
You
isn't Vanderbilt? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to be mean, but aren't they pretty much the doormat of that SEC
They
when
have
it comes
been.
to
Yeah.
football?
They
Yeah.
have been for a long time, and they're a little better this year, right? But it doesn't change the fact that, like,
Mhm.
Alabama still needs to win that game. And this is the same scenario for me here, right? Like, if you want to be an elite football team, you're not going to blow everybody out every single week, but you need to win.
Mhm.
And as long as you win, you can go ahead and continue just working on things, right? And that's
Yes.
great. You can find all kinds of things to work on. It's, winning
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you stop working, right? Turns out you still play the film and you still get blown up by coaches and, you still got things that you can get better at. And that's what this game is they did exactly what they needed to do, and that was win a football game.
Yep.
And found a whole bunch of blemishes that we got to work on.
In the Big Ten, that's all you got to do is
And that's
win games.
fine. You just got to win,
That's all you got to do.
right? And so now we get another chance, next week.
Next
right,
week, yeah.
to go and win against a undefeated football team.
Ranked
right?
opponent.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the road.
On the
Mhm.
road.
Yeah, they're a
Right.
tough team. We're in the bye week. What was the first week? So the bye week, Monday through Sunday of the bye week. What was obviously you practice, but like, is it kind of low key, more? Low key,
No,
or-
they normally practice. We always practice 3 times. I think that's what they did this week. They practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week.
So you're just trying to get healthy. in a way.
No, I mean get healthy, right? It's 1 week,
No one's
Ain't
gonna
nobody's miraculously recovering from everything that's going on right now.
An
in
ACL
1 week.
doesn't heal in an extra week.
You don't magically get players back, right? Now, are they a little less banged up the next week? Sure, right? But it's not like people talk about getting healthy. Like, no, your bruise went away before the next game, right? As opposed to just piling new bruises on top of the old bruises, right?
And I'm sure the bye week football parties are awesome, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I never went to them. But it does give guys a little chance to just catch their breath, right? Because it's been 6 weeks in a row, which is a fairly long time without a bye week. Now, if I remember right, is there another bye week later on this season?
Yes, we have a second one.
Yeah, which is awesome, right? And it's actually great to go kind of a big long stretch and then a few games and then bye week and then a few games. Like that's a really good schedule. So that'll be nice and be helpful, honestly. And it's just purely to mentally reset a little bit.
Good. Well, Dane Todd's in here. We got Thew Malone in as well. Happy Friday, everybody. Bill Hooks, thanks, Greg, for pointing that out to me. He's playing in a charity golf event today, which is why he couldn't make the show. So,
Well, I think your sister chimed in too.
oh, what'd she say?
Well, I think she kind of said that your folks weren't big Star Wars folks, and so
oh, that's
you
my
just-
mom.
Oh, is that your mother?
Yeah, that's my mom
Okay.
who said that. Yeah. Not a big Star Wars family. We're not really into that stuff. So let's take a break. We'll get Jeff Moats in here talking high school football, what's coming up tonight, and something that happened last night where the second half of a game did not get played. for a certain reason. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
At some point, like, what are we doing here?
All right, now. Good, you?
Mozi is here.
Look at their return.
What up, bro? It's only been 2 weeks. Thank you.
There he is.
Oh, wait till we've got the Jeff Moats rejoin song ready, right?
Oh no!
Yes, we do have that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Please be something.
It's right in your wheelhouse.
Let's not have it be too bubble gummy.
Oh, not at all.
Is it just the Jeopardy theme song?
I hope. Well, I'm like on a booster seat compared to you guys.
I know.
Look at
I got a
this.
really low one right here. I was looking for the little
Look at
side
this.
button to raise her up.
Rider.
You look like a giant over there.
Well, I'm 6'6".
In heels.
Used to be
6'10" in heels.
You'll be 6'2" before you're all said and done.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, maybe. We'll see.
What was that? You want to share with the whole stream and room?
Nope.
Well, the mic was on and caught it.
It always is.
It went out.
Always is.
There's Mozi.
Oh yeah, these.
Hell.
Yeah, we're always.
You're
you
always
guys are always
on.
online.
You always forget that.
I do.
Mozi's always forgetting that.
Mom said she agrees with Dane. As long as it's not freezing or raining, so much better to be in the seats. Okay, I get it, but the last game I went to, Colorado, I mean, I couldn't even fit in the stands.
That's because that 24 lbs you've put on.
I know, but that's not fair.
Well, there's somebody that always gets a stadium
fair.
seat, and then they sit everything else next to it, and they take up half of your already small little numbered area. And
I promise there's somebody bigger than me.
you have to
Honestly-
be
So are you saying-
Karen Carpenter to fit in there.
Oh wow!
Oh, pop reference.
That's only like 41 years late there, Thu.
What they need to do is they need to put seat backs on chairs, and or they need to do what every other football program in the entire country does, and you can preemptively rent your stadium seat and go and put them in there and leave them there for the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could see that.
Why? I'm surprised they haven't done that.
It is not some new like revelation. Okay, they were doing it at University of Iowa.
Yeah.
What? How long ago was I there? 13 years ago. 14 years ago. You know, like,
Yeah. I'm with you. I think they should put seatbacks in for everything. Limit the capacity. Why not?
decrease the capacity, increase the comfort, because quite honestly, my couch is super comfortable and my TV works fine.
God, but you're so right when you say games take forever. That little clock goes out there and you see 3 minutes. It's like, Jesus.
When I took Jared down to a Nebraska game, this is in 2018 when they played Bethune-Cookman, and it had been a while since I'd seen a Nebraska game in person because I was always either working behind the scenes with the network or in another capacity like over here. And it's like, oh my gosh, I had a culture shock because you get to see the TV timeout countdown. I said, this is how much college football has changed in terms of the in-person fan experience. It blew my mind.
Yeah. And they put like 3 minutes on it, and you're like,
Right. It's like, oh, TV timeout.
Now everyone grabs their phone and see if you're the lucky one that can get reception in that stadium.
See, but the difference is, like, if you go to a college basketball game, you're used to that TV timeout because you know it's going to happen at 16, 12, 8, 4.
sit tight. Sit tight, Mose. Welcome back into the morning hookup. Happy Friday. We got everybody here. Myself, Theo Malone, Dane Todd, and Jeff Moats is now in studio with us. And this is supposed to be his rejoin song, thanks to Theo Malone.
Sounds of the 70s from Time Life.
A little Starbuck for you there.
Starbuck.
That take you back?
Very good.
What year did that come out again?
That might have been like 75,
It was
76.
My God.
year or two pre-Moats for me.
Wow.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, welcome back into the show. Modsey is here. How are you?
Busy.
Yeah.
In the last 24 hours, and I'm not trying to get on a soapbox here, but
Well,
as you
do it.
know, Will, I've covered three major stories three major stories in 2 hours yesterday with that fire out in Northwest Lincoln. Then there was the ribbon cutting for the bike kitchen, and then there was the ribbon cutting for the Pershing Center mural that's going to go in at Wyuka. And then this morning we had another fire down in South Lincoln. And between all that, I've been managing sports stuff and everything else. I feel
You're
like
gonna have to prioritize. I think. Well, you're running yourself short every time there's a ribbon cutting at a new parking garage. You're there to cover it. I mean,
Well, now I will be honest with you. We did get notification about the bike kitchen ribbon cutting. I found out secondhand covering the fire about the other ribbon cutting. I thought, well, what time's that? 10:30. Go to the bike kitchen ribbon cutting at 10. Got what I needed. Had 5 minutes to spare. Got over to Wyuka. Got the other ribbon cutting. Got some sound on it, and then made it back to the station.
have you ever been given the oversized pair of scissors to cut a ribbon for anything
No.
yourself? You haven't got to do that yet?
No.
Okay.
I have not had the great fortune of having anything like that, or been given a key to the city or anything of that
So
nature.
maybe if we ever expand the studio here and add on, maybe we'll make sure that you get to do that, or get the shovel for the groundbreaking.
I'll mark it down on my calendar when that happens.
Well, Modes, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, you bet.
Let's talk high school football. I want to start with what happened last night.
The Millard South Lincoln High game, I saw some of the highlights of it from last night, and I was kind of following along on social media too, and it was 63-0 Millard South at halftime, and I'll say this again, Millard South may be the best team in the state, hands down. I think they're better than Westside, and Westside's the two-time defending state champs, but and then I saw something that both sides agreed at halftime not to play the second half. So essentially, it became a forfeit, and so Millard South gets the win. But it may go down as a 1-0 forfeit victory instead of the 63-0.
So what happened? Why did they not?
If Lincoln High, they've been rebuilding for the last couple of years. They had a great run with those guys, with Cedric Case and Zion Perry and some of those guys just a few years ago, and they were really kind of the talk not only of Lincoln but Nebraska, just because of how highly talented they were. And they've fallen on some hard times. And Coach Mackey's a great guy. He cares about the kids, and he's been in that position before where they've played teams and they've blown them out. And I think it came down to, hey, just to save us time and effort for both sides, let's talk about maybe calling it right here, I think. And I think that's what happened.
I thought I read somewhere that they didn't have enough healthy players.
And that might be the case too, and there have been a lot of teams this year in Nebraska that have had that unfortunate circumstance where they have no healthy kids. Now, a few weeks ago, it was Standing Bear that had to forfeit their game with Waverly because they had kids that were hurt or sick, and I think it was mostly illness where they had to forfeit that game. There's a school, I think, down in south central Nebraska, and it escapes me. I don't know if it's Chester, Hubble, Byron, or one of those schools, which I think is now Thayer Central, but it was another one of those schools. It might have been like Republican Valley or somebody. And then out west, Banner County had to do the same thing. They just did not have enough kids to play because either injuries or illness, or they didn't have enough kids to come out and play it all together. And I think that's becoming a reality. Now, I've seen on social media here in the last 12 hours or so where there is a push from parents and fans alike that say it's time for the NSA to maybe look at another class system for football with some of these teams in Class A in particular. And there's quite a few Omaha area schools that are in that group where they don't have enough kids out, number one. Number two, they're struggling to keep kids on the team, or they're fighting through injuries. It's a personnel matter. It's how many people do you have to play the game. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that would be a problem, and especially in Class A, where, I go back to when you played, Dane, and even basketball was never a big issue for numbers, but football is certainly one of those sports where numbers can be a problem, and I think it's more of a problem now than what it was when you were playing at Southeast 20 years ago. I don't ever recall, even when I was in high school, I don't ever recall seeing any of the major schools in Omaha or Lincoln having issues with kids going out for football.
I mean, at Southeast, we had 2 full-size freshman teams,
Yeah.
a reserve, a JV, a varsity, right? And I think part of what you're looking at is, one, like, how many schools do we have in Lincoln now?
We
Right?
got 8 public. You got Pius. You got Lincoln Lutheran, Lincoln Christian. You got Parkview Christian. Okay, those are in College View Academy, but they don't play football.
Right. But the 4 private schools, right, that you just listed
Right.
off there, they've always been there, right? But we went from 4 public to 8 public,
Yeah.
right, in the span of 20 years, right? And so there you go. That decreases your numbers right off the bat because Lincoln has not doubled in size in the last 20 years, right? And then the other thing that happens is, well, all the information comes out about CTE and concussion stuff, and there's less interest in folks playing football, right? And so that decreases your numbers even further from there. And so, yeah, you start to end up with limited numbers. I'm actually completely on board with doing another class, right, of football, right? And if it is in the A class, because they are bigger schools, right, you have an A1 and an A2 with one rule and requirement, though,
Right.
relegation, right?
Interesting.
Every 2 years or every year or whatever it is, every 2 years, because that's what they do the calendars on, right?
Yeah.
Like your best team in your best 2 teams in the A2, right, move up to A1, and your lowest 2 teams in the A1 move down to A2.
Oh, I
right?
love it.
Just to keep it.
Well,
I love that.
And you could go like it could be a Class 2A or Class A, and then you got B, C1, C2, D1, D2, and then you got the 6-man. So, I mean, especially with the growth in Omaha and Lincoln, I mean, there are a lot of these teams now. I look at Omaha Buena Vista as being a brand new team. Within the last 2 to 3 years, it's played football, and then you look at the older schools in Omaha that have struggled to maintain kids, and this goes back to even COVID, where kids were jumping ship from these OPS schools because at the time OPS said, we're not having any fall sports because of the pandemic. The suburban districts did not follow suit. They managed it well. Lincoln Public Schools, Steve Joel, to his credit, and the athletic officials for LPS, to their credit, they did a great job of managing things. So if there was a team that had to go into protocol, that team went into protocol and they didn't play. And either they made it up or it was a forfeit or whatever. But what happened in Omaha is that you had a lot of those kids that wanted to play that either did not get to play, or if they did, they transferred out at last minute, and they go to West Side, they go to the Elkhorn schools, they go to the Millard schools, Bellevue, Papillion, La Vista, whatever. Maybe some of the smaller districts in Omaha or one of the private schools up there too, so they could play. And that's what happened. And now you see schools like Benson, Omaha Northwest, Omaha Bryan, and hard to believe Omaha Burke, who, was power not that long ago. They've all struggled with numbers or just getting kids out to play. So it's not an official move, but it's a discussion.
It should be.
I think a lot of people are pushing for.
Well, you got to keep in mind too that the plan is for your 2 new schools here in Lincoln, Standing Bear and Northwest. They're wanting to move those up to A in the next 2 or 3 years.
And
you see what's happening, especially with Northwest in Class B. They're getting boat raced. Can you imagine them moving up to Class A and having to play teams like that?
And again, you go up against a Goliath in Millard South or a West Side or an Elkhorn South or an Omaha North, and even Southeast and East, who are among some of those teams in recent years that have been very good and powerful, that's a big-time mismatch. But if you want to look at it to where you want to build up confidence and rebuild these programs, I think what you were alluding to, Dane, is that you go in either a year or two-year increment cycle to where you see, okay, where are these teams at now where they were from 2 years ago? Are they improving? Are they getting better? Do we move them up? Do we move them down? That's something that it's not an official topic of discussion right now, but you hear more people talking about this, especially seeing their teams or their schools or their kids just trying to play and have fun, and it becomes an instant rout otherwise.
Well, Moats, let's talk about tonight. How many weeks left until playoffs?
Well, this is week 7, and then the playoffs begin 3 weeks from tonight.
Okay.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
So who do we got tonight? Some big games tonight?
We got Grand Island and North Star here on KFOR tonight. This will be our second shot of seeing the Islanders this year. We've seen North Star already. North Star with a win tonight could clinch a playoff spot.
All right.
So that's good news for them. I think East with a win last night, I think they clinched. They're halfway toward clinching a playoff spot. And so we'll have that North Star game here on KFOR tonight at 7:50 for pregame. It'll be myself and John Harris on the call. And then sports-wise, that's the only sporting event we got on the radio this weekend. Everybody, Chiefs are off. They got a bye week. Nebraska's got the bye week, so no reaction show or pregame or anything like that.
Now, you have a Thursday game next week before we see you
yeah,
again,
I know.
don't we?
I'm getting
All
that
right.
because Thu is going to join me for the Thursday night game with Northwest and Standing Bear out at Seacrest.
The two new dogs squaring
The
off.
two newbies are going to go at it.
This will be for bragging rights,
yeah.
or maybe even for probably a win, a win in the win column.
So that'll be Thursday night, and then we got Beatrice and Pius a week from tonight over at Pius, and you'll have that. So that's kind of what's coming up here over the next week. Northeast is on the road tonight up at Buena Vista in Omaha. Southeast has North Platte this afternoon. That's the 4:30 game at Seacrest, and should be a nice summer-like afternoon out there on the sideline.
Yeah, it's
for
going to be hot.
Dr. Todd.
It's
More
gonna be hot
sunscreen,
and
huh?
sunny.
More
I'm not
sunscreen.
going to like it. Football should be played at 7 p.m. like the Standing Bear game I'm going to right after the Southeast game.
Well, and the thing is, there was no game at Seacrest last night.
I know.
They probably could have played a game there last night.
It would have been beneficial.
Yeah, it would have.
He doesn't like the sun.
Nope.
I
My
know.
son and I are not friends.
And then you mentioned Pius and Standing Bear play tonight out at UBT. Those are just some of the games in town. Plattsmouth and Waverly play tonight, some of the area games. And so that's what's going on tonight. And we'll have a full scoreboard, of course, of the games later tonight. The podcast, the Grand Island North Star game, will be available later tonight as well at KFORnow.com. Quick shout to Lincoln Southwest. They won the A2 district softball title yesterday over Omaha Westview. Right now, they're the only Lincoln area team qualifying for the state tournament that begins next Wednesday out in Hastings. Pius and Omaha Scott will play for the B4 championship. In fact, they're playing right now. That's at Omaha Scott. Looking around, B doesn't look like anybody else in B other than Cretan Seward from within the immediate Lincoln area is playing. And then Class C, you've got quite a few teams out west and up in the Omaha area that are playing this afternoon for district championship and a trip to state, including UTAM Meade and Ashland Greenwood in that C8 district final. That's up at UTAN. It's 1 o'clock this afternoon. Our very own Rob Kelly has a special interest in that game too. So, but yeah, congratulations to them. Fremont won the boys Heartland Athletic Conference cross-country championship yesterday. Lincoln Southwest girls won the team title as well. So
that was out of Pioneers Park, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you go by there and see that?
Well, they were all in my neighborhood.
Yeah. You ever ran that course?
I've seen it.
I've ran it.
I've been out there when I'm not going to run that.
I've ran it.
Running for fun is silly to me, kind of like the sun with Tim.
Going up Choo Choo Hill.
I'm only going to run if I have to chase my meal or the cops are after me. That's
going up that old
undoable.
Choo Choo Hill there where the ramp is for
Yep.
the sledding and stuff. That's tough.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It is. It's grueling.
I would run down it.
Well,
I don't
everybody
want-
would.
I don't want to run up it.
No.
Never
So-
seen anybody who was running look like they were having a good time.
No.
Never seen a single person.
Yeah. Do people who run marathons know they don't have to?
Yeah, it's
I don't
unclear
even
to
like
me
to
at this
drive
point. It doesn't make sense.
26.2 miles.
Yeah, no.
You don't like to travel, do you?
Well, I somewhat. I'll
You
be
have to
traveling. I'll
for
be
your
traveling.
job.
I'm traveling. Well, yes, I'll be traveling next month. Got
Where-
the World Championships for 50 and over softball. World
Wow.
Championships.
Where are they playing that at?
Down in the Phoenix area.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
50 and over. I know. I'm old.
Thought you
Bring
were
A
in
bunch
the-
of people out there with walkers.
Thought you were
and
in the 60-plus group at this point.
Yeah,
bearing
me
down
too.
on it. Bearing down on
Me
it.
too. Moats, again, remind people what you got tonight.
Again, North Star and Grand Island football tonight here on KFOR will be on at 7:50. All brought to you by members of the KFOR Sportscasters Club.
Thank you for coming in, Moats.
You bet.
Enjoy the weekend.
You too.
Let's take a break, come back. We're going to pick our NFL games because Dane and I are tied for the lead. We'll do that when we
Ooh.
come back.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
Ryan just posted in the chat. He ran cross country in high school, ran Choo Choo Hill too many times.
So, in other words, he did it at least once.
Well, I did it 3 years
That's
in high school.
about
Why
3
do they
years
call
too
it?
many.
Why do they call it choo-choo?
Because there used to be a train,
there.
There was a train engine there at the top of the hill.
With like a little coal, the coal helper car right behind it.
Yeah, it's been gone. How long has that been gone from
That's
there?
At least 15 or 20 years.
No,
Hasn't it?
longer than that. It wasn't
it?
even there when I was running.
Oh.
Wait, you said coal helper car? Is that the caboose?
No, the coal helper car was a car right behind the locomotive that had the coal specifically that they would use to shove into the fire
Gotcha.
compartment engine.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't they weren't diesel electric like they are now.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
You had to you've seen the movies.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
the
of
big
course.
guys scooping
Of
the
course.
coal, throwing it
Go
in the big
faster.
fire. Yeah, we need more coal. Get that fire burning. Yes.
Go faster. That's right. I've seen it. Cartoons and whatnot.
And no, I've never had to do that.
I bet that would be tough to do and keep up and try to make that thing go down the track. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
No way.
that would suck. So, yeah.
Question for you then.
Yes.
Former teammate. I think it just dawned on me last night. Maybe moved back from Colorado, lives in Lincoln now.
Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he has a boy that plays for
Standing
Standing
Bear.
Bear, doesn't he?
Yep.
I had
Who's
no idea.
that?
Adam Carricker.
Character.
Oh, okay.
He must
Yeah,
move
he
back
just
from
moved
Colorado.
back to Lincoln sometime this spring or summer.
Yeah, must have been
Really?
before it started. And
So we'll get to see him. His
I
kid
think his
play.
boy's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Same age as Xavier.
So we'll
yeah.
get to see his kid play next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no
Yeah.
idea that he had moved back, so that's
Mhm.
kind of cool.
Yep.
Ryan says running sucks, however, benefits are worth it. That's a good point.
We got to figure out a name for that Standing Bear and Northwest game, like the rivalry.
Like, yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
like
Well,
Traveling
you-
trophy type.
Yeah, you give me 4 days, I'll think of something.
Okay.
Because what'd you call the gym, or what'd you call
Oh, the field. It's the Falcons' desk.
the Falcons
Falcon
net?
nest.
Well,
I know you
called
guys-
the gym that.
Well, yeah. Well, we that
You
but-
could.
You could, but a nest. It's kind of it's got the sides and stuff like an eagle's nest.
Granted.
And you know how they would call, even though it's Pinnacle Bank Arena, they call it the Vault.
Yes.
Even though it's UB,
Pinnacle Bank Arena.
or down there with the
Well,
field
it's
is called.
Union Bank
Union
Stadium.
Bank Stadium, but can still be called the Falcons' Nest.
I like it.
We've got royalties on that.
Yeah, we were the first to
You-
come up
you
with
better
that.
Better be
file-
careful.
You better
They're gonna-
file the
They're going to be a
copyright.
T-shirt with it on there pretty quick.
All right, fellas, got to run. Do news. Have a good weekend.
All right, Moatsy.
All right, later, buddy.
Thanks.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Yep, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, we got NFL picks coming up. I already got Hooks' picks.
Mom said she ran into you at Menards.
Yeah.
So Hooks ain't trusting what I do, and that's just every other.
No, and it was working for you.
It worked out
Hopefully
great.
that didn't make your stay.
You did that 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, because I was gone the 1 week, and then I was sick last week. Had no voice at all. Nothing.
Oh, you're feeling better now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm mostly over whatever the heck it was, but it was awful.
Well, you and I were on Seattle last night, and that did not.
That did not pan out.
That did not work very well. So,
How far back is Hooksy? I'm gonna catch him up today.
well, he already gave me his picks,
Oh,
but I'm gonna take your picks too.
okay.
You know, See how you do.
He was the Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year and the top-rated fullback in the 2006 NCAA football video game. Now, he's a sports medicine specialist and team physician for the University of Nebraska. Live on the Morning Hookup right now, powered by Dr. Dane Todd. It is Nebraska's very own Dr. Dane Todd.
Yes, he's here in studio with us.
you.
Welcome back into the show.
Hey, were there top rated?
Top rated.
How many fullbacks were in that game though?
I mean,
Please tell me more.
That was
more
back
than
in
3.
That was back in the early 2000s, so pretty much every team had a fullback.
Okay.
And
I like how
I'm
we
making
just-
sure.
I just like how we jump on air and we're just immediately into a
Yeah,
conversation.
just
That was
crushed
good.
the guy.
No, I'm not crushing. I want to
He
make
came
sure.
after me. No, I'm
No,
gonna,
no,
I'm going
never.
with Thew came after me.
Hey, I had that game.
I still do.
Don't believe me. I'd number 40 in there.
You got to check it though. I think it's just the Xbox version that it was that way.
Really?
Yeah, it was different. The ratings were different for different. I was number 2 on the other one, but
Okay.
we'll only go with the top.
We
one.
know you were number
We'll go
one.
with the top one.
Yeah.
You know, Xavier's playing that, the new one that's come out, and he is absolutely just hell bent on being Arizona State
Okay.
because he says every kid around Lincoln, obviously plays Nebraska. He goes, I want to play something different. So he's going through his season, the recruiting and all that stuff, and he wanted to be Arizona State.
Is he trying to do a bunch of recruiting violations and other things?
No, it's all legal now, right? Yeah, tampering?
I mean, for the most part, it is. I guess. Is he cheating on
Is it-
tests though?
No.
You can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
in the
that's what I
game.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
You can cheat on tests. You can go out to parties with girls, and if you don't play your cards right, they block you. It's a real thing in the game. It's
Really?
very realistic.
That sounds like
Although I never got blocked. That's not what I'm saying. Like, it's not realistic to me.
yeah, of
You know.
course.
well, you
Yeah,
should be
yeah,
North
sounds about
Carolina
right.
then on that game.
Why?
Well, didn't they have that big deal, a few years ago where all the students were passing classes that they weren't really attending
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
that
like
was
that?
North Carolina, I think.
Was that North Carolina?
Yeah.
Just don't be Georgia. You'll get a speeding ticket.
Yeah, every other week something's
Oh my
going on
God,
there.
those guys are in trouble. So-
Well, let's go to NFL. Week 6, I believe, or is it week 5? Either way. Last night, Dane and I were on Seattle. We didn't hit that one. Bill was on SF, San Francisco. Here's how it looks right now. Dane and I are tied at the top, 31-28. I caught you.
That's not hard to do.
And Bill is at 28-31, so he's right there with us. Let's get into it. First game this weekend, we got Jacksonville at Chicago. Chicago's favored by 1.
Ugh. Who's playing quarterback at Chicago?
Caleb Williams.
I'll take Chicago.
Chicago as well.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. And Bill is going with Jacksonville as well.
Perfect.
we
I'll
got-
pick up one on both
Yep.
of you.
You'll be back in the lead, Dane.
Houston is heading to New England.
New England.
That was quick. Houston's favored by 6.5.
Houston.
Can't pick Texas teams.
That's fair. That's going to get you in trouble, though.
I know it does every year, but at least I have principles.
He does, and he sticks to him, so you
He
got to
does.
give him credit for that.
Washington is going to Baltimore, and Baltimore's favored by 7. Hooks is going with Washington.
Ooh, favored by 7?
Yeah. I'm going to go Washington. They're playing really good.
I'll take Washington.
I wanted to go with Washington as well, but I think Baltimore also needs they need a statement game, and Washington's been playing really well. It's time for them to have a letdown. It's in Baltimore. I'm going Baltimore.
Cleveland at Philly. Philly's favored by 9.5.
Philly.
Dane's taking Philly.
Yep.
Bill is taking Cleveland. And
I have a pick against Cleveland rule this year.
Okay.
Oh,
Mhm.
I gotta go with Cleveland. That's a lot of points.
9.5 is too much. I'm going with Cleveland as well.
Mhm.
All right. Arizona at Green Bay. Green Bay's favored by 5. I think Arizona wins this game. I'm gonna go Arizona.
Kyler Murray's been better this year, hasn't he?
Yeah. They beat the 49ers last week.
I'll take Arizona also.
I'm going to go with Arizona as well. It's in Green Bay, but it's not the frozen tundra just yet.
All 4 of us are on Arizona there. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5.
I'll take Tampa Bay.
New Orleans, they need a bounce back game. It's at home. I'm going with the Saints.
I am too. I'm going to go the Saints as well. Bill is going with Tampa. We got the Colts heading to Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 2.5. Joe Flacco, I believe, is playing for the Colts.
Joe Flacco.
And he's
no
been
way.
doing okay.
He has been doing okay.
For that reason, I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'll take the Colts too.
I am as well.
Just give me Joe Flacco. Give me the old man.
All 4 of us are on the Colts. Next up, we got the Chargers going to Denver. The Chargers are favored by 3.
I'll take the Chargers.
I'll
I still don't trust Denver at all.
I don't either.
Really?
Chargers as well.
I'm a sucker.
We know.
I'm going to go with Denver. Bill took the Chargers. Pittsburgh at Vegas. Pittsburgh is favored by 3.
Give me Vegas. Pittsburgh parties too hard the night before the game.
Pittsburgh, obviously, I think they need a bounce back game after last week, and the Raiders are just terrible. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got to go Pittsburgh as well. Bill is going Pittsburgh as well. All right, Detroit at Dallas. Detroit's favored by 3.
That's an easy pick. Let me have the Lions.
Theo, you're the
I know.
you're the Dallas fan.
But they're just terrible.
They're terrible.
And I think Detroit is wanting payback for last year in the playoffs. Even though it's home at Dallas, I still think Detroit wins this game.
Ooh, I hate the pick. I got to go Dallas.
Are you? So the resident Dallas hater takes Dallas,
Yeah, well,
and the resident Dallas fan takes Detroit.
look, when it comes to being right, you got to go against some things.
Okay.
Let's be honest, though. You have picked the exact same number of games correct as me.
Yeah. You didn't even pick your games for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, but we used the same principles I would normally choose.
Yeah, you're right.
That
you
is
did.
basically a random number generator. So
Also, it's my weekly rant that the Cowboys are on TV every week.
yeah,
Give it a
America's
break.
team.
like
right.
Notre Dame.
You like Notre Dame. All right, Atlanta is heading to Carolina.
Give me Atlanta.
They're favored by 6.
See, exactly.
Right. Look who they're playing. It's going to be even more than 6. I'm taking Atlanta.
I'm a sucker. I'm taking Carolina.
Wow.
Cincinnati at the Giants.
Cincy,
Cincy's favored by 3.5.
are they going to finally win a football game?
I don't know. It's
Those poor guys.
now luckily when you look up NFL hot seat rankings, Zach Taylor's nowhere to be seen.
No, I mean they've lost every game by like 1 point, and it's been disappointing, right?
But you got to
know?
win. I'm with you though.
Well
He doesn't
aware,
deserve
but-
to be.
Yeah,
He's fine.
yeah.
He's fine.
I'm
All right.
I'm taking Cincinnati this week as well.
You're taking Cincy? Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati as well. And the last game, Buffalo at the Jets. Buffalo's favored by 2.5.
Oh.
Hooksy's going with the Jets.
Oh, they just changed out their coach, though. Give me Buffalo.
You're going Buffalo?
I think the Jets fall apart.
I like a team when they fire their coach. I think the next week is they play different. So I'm going to go with the Jets.
Yeah, they'll
I'm
probably
taking
play
Buffalo.
worse.
All right. There we go. The picks are made.
Good.
Very good. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. There was a story I wanted to get to, but right now, we were talking Husker football 5-1. There was an article out there that had projections for bowl games. I didn't get a look at it, but the Las Vegas Bowl better be up there because if it is, if we go to Vegas for that, we're all going. I'm serious.
Who's footing that bill?
That'd be sweet.
Ourselves?
Hooksy, obviously.
Hooksy, obviously.
Hooksy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
of
going to fly
course.
out there in his plane then. That'll be cool.
Yeah, all day.
So this was a story I
Go hit
read
up Chick-fil-A.
yesterday. Kendrick Perkins, y'all remember Kendrick Perkins?
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah, now he's an expert on ESPN.
Yes. He has co-founded a company called Nilly, offering college athletes upfront cash in exchange for a portion of their NIL earnings. While Perkins says it's meant to provide financial security, critics warn it could be exploitative, comparing the deals to high-interest loans. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, that's called trying to make money off of a bunch of, college kids is what that is. And that will end up being exploitative, right? Like just on face value of that thing. That's a payday loan scam is what that is.
Interesting. Giving money. So you just give them money up front and then you get a cut of what they earn in NIL.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, that's what's going to end up happening because somebody's not going to pan out, right? They're not going to get quite the NIL deal that they were supposed to,
Yeah.
right? And then they're going to owe a whole bunch of back, and there's going to be a bunch of interest on it. And I'll bet that's what ends up happening.
And basically, the player walks away with less money than.
If not bankruptcy. You know, you get hurt or something like that, and your NIL is, canceled or not the same as it was the previous year because you tore an ACL, but yet you've taken out all 4 of your years of NIL to this guy. Yeah, you're hosed.
Yeah.
Parents are mortgaging their house to give to Kendrick Perkins.
I mean, this seems like a terrible idea.
There's no scenario where this ends well.
It's called nilly, by the way, and also like it's
Willy-nilly.
nilly.
Yeah.
Because NIL. Oh, I get it. NIL nilly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
That makes
That
sense.
on the face of it, that sounds super sketchy.
That's like getting the email from the Prince of Zamunda, and he's got $250,000. He needs to mail it to you.
That's right.
We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
You're right. That does not sound like a good idea.
It doesn't sound great.
We got about 3 minutes left in the show. Dane, how's everything going over at the practice?
Yeah, it's good. Everything's going fine. Still run our Saturday sports clinics.
Okay.
Football season, volleyball, kind of, approaching state time, right? Then we'll start ramping up basketball and winter sports. Hockey season's underway.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my favorite, right? Because
Yeah.
I always squirrel in some hockey talk, right?
NHL.
But NHL actually kicked off their regular season, which is like we laugh about basketball being long.
Oh, my God.
Bro, the NHL season is the longest thing on this earth.
Well, right now you've got everything going on. The postseason for baseball, NFL, and college football's full gear. NHL and NBA are gearing up for their preseasons. You got everything.
But
NHL isn't even in preseason anymore. They're in their regular
yeah,
season
they started
already.
the season. Yeah.
Yeah, and they go until July.
Yeah,
until
it's,
the very end of June.
until that ice melts.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
And I saw Utah now.
Oh,
has a
Utah
team.
Hockey Club?
Yeah.
100%. By the way, their jerseys are straight fire.
You
it
like
just
it.
says straight up Utah on it, right?
What organization was that?
That was the Arizona Coyotes.
Okay.
And that was a disaster down there. Their owner was not great. And so that'll be actually great. They actually set a beer sales record
saw
for their
that.
first game.
They could drink.
And since it's a new organization, it's like all the records, the first goal. It's not like a team just relocating. It's a new franchise, so all new records and stuff.
And I will say this, the owner went like Masters style on the food, right? Where all the alcohol costs what it costs at pro events, but the food and stuff is all like $2.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. The owner was
Ooh.
like, you know what? I just want fans to come out and have a great time and buy a bunch of booze.
Smart.
Right? And so everything else there is dirt cheap.
Shane wants to do a Friday NHL segment.
Dude,
each
I
week.
would love
Maybe
that.
we could do that.
I would totally
well,
do
the name,
Friday NHL segment.
that's, I guess, catchy. I mean, before they were the Commanders, there was a Washington football team or whatever, and now you got the Utah Hockey Club.
I love a generic name like that. I love it. It's like soccer.
Yeah. They're going to change the name. It's probably going to end up being the Yetis.
Yetis.
Next year. They're going to get a new name next year, I think. But they didn't want to, it all kind of happened really fast, and so they didn't want to, pigeonhole themselves. Which, the Yetis would be a sweet name, though. You could end up with
Are
an
Yetis
awesome logo.
indigenous to that area?
Heck
I
if
guess
I know.
so.
There's mountains and snow.
Okay.
They should capture it and make it their mascot, and they could be in a cage and kind of like Bevo.
That sounds
Yeah.
mean.
Well,
Run that thing out on the ice before.
that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Gentlemen, thank you both for coming in today.
Of course. Happy to do it.
Enjoy the bye week.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
Thew, enjoy the softball coming up for you. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's about 6 weeks away.
Oh, it's coming.
You better start training now.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Later.
Thank you.